Southern California, welcome to Money Matters with Dino. Saturdays from noon to 1, right here on Power Players Radio, KTLK AM1150. Do you own a home or have plans to in the future? You'll get all the information you need to know about what's happening in the local real estate market and how to take advantage of that knowledge. How to approach home ownership or mortgage financing with design, vision, and focus, as well as accurate information. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, listen to Money Matters with Dino right here on Power Players Radio, KTLK AM1150.
Welcome to Money Matters with Dino, the most important hour of radio for Southern Californians every week. My name is Dino Katsiametis, and I want to thank you for joining today's conversation. Sounds like a bold thing to say, the most important hour of radio, but if you're listening right now, I guarantee that by the time this show is over, you'll have learned something valuable. If you go to our website, moneymatterswithdino.com, you'll see the tagline, From Your Estate to Real Estate, where your money matters. That title sums up what our show is all about. It's about money, your money. My goal and purpose for this show is to educate you regarding your money. And that can be anything from buying and selling homes to the stock market or even starting a business. How do I do this? I seek out top professionals in the marketplace and I have them share their years of experience and knowledge with you. Now, I know real estate and I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. I even have knowledge in some of these other fields, but I don't consider myself an expert in all areas of business. Therefore, in this show, I bring you respected professionals that are experts in their fields because it's critical to me that I provide you with accurate and up-to-date information, and I take that very serious. Before I get into what we have in store for you today, I want to share with you this week's words of wisdom. The hardships that I encountered in the past will help me succeed in the future. Philip Imigawali is a Nigerian-born engineer and computer scientist, and don't ask me where I found it, but I did. I found it on the internet, and I really liked what it had to say. And why did I choose that for this week? Well, after 5+ long years of hardship and a depressed economy, all of a sudden things seem to be changing. The stock market is up around 14,500. Real estate is almost as hot as my wife. Love ya. And people are posting pictures on Facebook of exotic vacations they're taking. That's not just a sign of things getting better, but that they're in full swing right now. But now back to my words of wisdom. The hardships that I encountered in the past will help me succeed in the future. So I ask you, did you learn anything from your failures in the last 5 years? Unfortunately, I don't think everyone has. It seems like everybody is just jumping right back in exactly where they left off. Now, I'm a huge fan of prosperity and wealth, but I'm a lot more conservative now than I was before. Therefore, I've tried to become more of a student than a teacher. I'd like to think that I am very knowledgeable about some things, in particular real estate, but I would prefer to seek those professionals to counsel me on the things that I don't know. Like I mentioned before, my expertise is in growing and managing wealth using the vehicle of real estate. Having decades of experience and extensive knowledge in helping people with their real estate needs has convinced me that real estate is still one of the many and best ways to grow a steady and secure portfolio of wealth. But it's not the only one. And that's why I call the show Money Matters. The other, and I think the greater reason, is that money affects your quality of life. Every financial decision you make affects every aspect of your life and where you live and how you live. And if you're a family man like me, it also affects if and where you're going to send your kids to college. Think about that. Every financial decision you make today will affect your quality of life tomorrow. Decisions that will affect what neighborhoods you live in, what schools your kids will go to, and if your kids will be able to play an organized sport or even learn an instrument. I know that sounds silly, but it's not. All of these things cost money. I know as well as anybody does, you don't want to say no because of money, but too many of us have to, too much of the time. Money, when managed properly, will enable you to say yes, and more importantly, understanding money, whether it's in the stock market, real estate, or stuffed under your mattress, can protect you from the turbulent times we recently experienced in the past few years. Here's something I love to say, and you're going to hear me say it a lot. And this is coming from a guy that loves real estate. Don't just get real estate rich, get rich. And we're going to teach you how. I hope you enjoy this show. Co-hosting with me today is my producer, Phil Giagrande. What's up, Phil?
How you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. Phil, we got a great crew here with us today. I just rode up in the limo with them. Got to know them, all three of them a little bit.
A lot of personality, I'm hoping.
A lot of personality.
Cool.
In particular, David Sidoni. He's a realtor with Keller Williams, and he's top-notch. He's one of the top 2% in the nation. I'm sorry, 5% in the nation, 2% in Orange County.
Wow.
And more so than that, personality. He's actually done TV and done some hosting of his own and various things. Hey Mike, what was the name of that the TV show he's been on? And he's like, I started off doing flips. That was my thing. So we got to make sure we ask him about that later. and then we also have Rand Penrod, who's a realtor with Torelli Realty in Costa Mesa, and he's a great dude. He's a real laid back. Used to be a lifeguard, and now he works at the beach area down by Huntington Beach. And
Doesn't it feel like everybody in business in Orange County, they all started out as lifeguards or surfers, and then they just moved on to like, wow, we have to make money at this now. You know?
I started off flipping burgers and rolling burritos. Right. Now look at me. I'm moving up. So then we also have Hope Machado from Open House Interiors. She does home staging, which is really interesting, and I can't wait to talk to her about that because, you and I were talking how home staging really can make the difference of several $1,000s.
Yeah, a big difference in the resale. And the stupid little ideas of just, that just make it so much better and
throw
so much
pillows and
whatever. Yeah, all that stuff that
adding some color
that we don't think about.
Yeah, I'd hate to see your house.
Oh God, it's horrible.
All right. So in our next segment, our guest will join us in our discussion with our panel of experts. Today, we're addressing an extremely important topic called secrets of selling your home for top dollar. Our pros will give you the top 5 secrets of getting the most money out of your home. As always, our last segment is the Ask Dino segment, where Phil will ask questions that you have emailed us or Facebooked us. I'll use my extensive knowledge and expertise, and I'll try and answer those questions for you in a simple, easy to understand type of way. Now, if you have any questions for me or anybody that you're gonna hear today, give me a call at 949-720-1616. And we'll be glad to help you. That's 949-720-1616, or you can check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. Use us as your resource for wealth. So, Phil, I know you always do a little bit of research on what our topic of the day is. So tell us a little bit about the secrets of selling your home for top dollar today.
Let me read to you the very beginning of an article I found today called Don't Wait to List Your Home. Spring is the traditional kickoff of the home selling season. This year, however, many markets across the country are facing the lowest inventory of unsold homes in decades, while buyer interest is soaring. Realtors increasingly are calling brokers to other companies to find homes to sell and are even door knocking, which we've heard plenty of times from our guests at this point, asking owners if they want to list their homes. Multiple offers are becoming more common, driving up prices. Nationally, rising prices means that 1.4 million people can now sell their home who couldn't earlier, people who had previously been underwater, that is. Their mortgage had been worth more than their home's market value, according to a recent study by CoreLogic. So basically, what we're seeing is that all these people now are jumping into the market to sell their home because they really couldn't before. And now that they feel like they're out of the woods, let's get rid of this property. In a way, I feel like they're not ready for what the market's about to do. I think over the next few years, the market's going to be great. So, if you've finally got value and you could still afford to stay there, wait it out. But a lot of people are jumping in and selling. So, on money.com or .cnn.com, they listed the top 5 places to sell real estate, and 4 out of the 5 cities were in California. Why? Because our values have gone up, because the economy is getting better. There's a lack of inventory, and the interest rates are low, which means buyers can afford to spend more on your property. This is why we're talking about this today. We want people who have made the decision to sell to understand that it is, in fact, a great time to sell, and they should get the best possible price for their home. What do you think about that?
That was a mouthful.
That was a mouthful, yeah.
I agree with you.
I'm exhausted. I'm going to leave.
You're exhausted?
I'm going to go home now, yeah.
Well, why don't you just sit down?
All right.
No, stay with us, though, okay? I don't want you to leave.
Okay.
All right. I need your insight.
Okay.
I need that crystal ball of yours. Because you made a bold statement. You said that the market was going to be great for the next couple of years.
I believe that. Yeah, for the next 3 or 4 years, I think the market's going to be great.
Well, I tend to agree with you. To be honest with you, I kind of hope it slows down just a little bit, though.
Why is that?
Just because I think it was a little too much too fast.
You think we're blowing up a bubble again?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a bubble necessarily, but I mean, I'd like to see it slow down just so we don't create a bubble, right? Because I think you can have great business and have it be just a little slower than what it is right now without the risk of driving the prices up too high, without the risk of people doing desperate things because they're losing out on the house, or houses are going up too fast. So, they end up doing crazy things. And then when that happens, it's a long list of things that end up coming.
Yeah,
that's what happened to us last time.
Right, you're right. And there is that feeling of when you start to feel the frenzy of people just buying for the sake of buying because they're desperate to make their money back or whatever, or they feel like this is their opportunity. It does start to feel a little bit desperate and a little bit scary, and like that's when people can make poor decisions.
And that's exactly it. It's like when you're under pressure, what kind of decisions do you make? Ideally, and I've been trying to exercise this, as I said earlier in the words of wisdom, with everything that's happened to us in the last 5 years, I've been trying to be more of a student versus a teacher. Mm-hmm. And that's sitting back for a moment, examining the situation, taking a day to whatever it takes and making that decision, because when you're more relaxed, you can, I think, make better decisions in general. But you don't have that opportunity in real estate anymore. If a house comes on the market, you basically either have to drive there immediately or send somebody with a video camera, and then you're making an offer. And that's
wow.
it.
It's that crazy now.
It's that crazy right now.
Okay, so how do you make decisions when you're buying at this point? I mean, are you just throwing down multiple offers on multiple houses and hoping one of them sticks, or what are you doing?
A lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are making much larger offers than what they're capable of. Now, granted, if they qualify, they qualify, right? So officially that means they're capable, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's what they're comfortable with. Right. And you never know what's to come. For example, I got a client right now that they're buying a home and they qualify, but they don't have much left. I mean, they're at that max. The one thing that they're not quite thinking of is their car's already 7 years old. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to get another car pretty soon. Right. So all of a sudden...
So will you talk to them about that kind of thing and say, listen, will you act as almost like a financial planner and say, just be aware that these are the things that are going to come up?
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something I've changed a lot in my business over the last several years, because they're granted, just like anybody, I want to close a deal. But more importantly, I want somebody to get into a home. That's more important to me than closing the deal. And there's times when I'll do something for extremely cheap, sometimes even for free. I didn't say that out loud either, but
no, you just said it on the radio.
But it's because getting into a home is completely different. It's your life. I mean, that's your family. That's your day to day, where you sleep, where you eat, where you have memories, and where you create memories. So, how to not make poor decisions is what I think you originally asked before we went off on that, right? I think what's important is, number one, you really understand your finances. You seek out professional help to talk about all the different options, so you know what kind of decision you can make before you have to make it. It's also setting parameters of saying, this is going to be the max that I'm willing to spend no matter what. If it's $1 more, you just can't do it. You can't just say, gosh, you're not finding anything. It's getting tough out there. We gotta hurry up and make a decision. And then you go beyond that parameter that you've set for yourself. And it's also very important to not get into a house that you're not totally happy with, just because you're getting desperate and you're getting beat out on other offers. So you need to, with your real estate agent, set the parameters of what you need. Don't go looking at houses that don't meet those parameters. With your lender, you need to set those parameters, and everybody needs to be working together as a team on your behalf. Mm-hmm. And that's very important. You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions about anything you've heard today, or you'd like to inquire about a refinance or purchase of a home, give me a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. And let me help you make the best real estate decision for you and your family. Give us a call at 949-720-1616, or you can check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. Coming up after the break, we have our panel discussion with the experts. Joining us from Keller Realty is David Sidoni. From Open House Interiors is Hope Machado. And from Torelli Realty, Mr. Rand Penrod. While you're waiting, think about your financial goals and ask yourself, am I protecting my current real estate investment with knowledge and investing in a way that will make me wealthy? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When it comes to purchasing or refinancing your home, turn to someone with experience, CHL Mortgage. It doesn't matter if you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing the home of your dreams, or refinancing. The team of mortgage specialists at CHL Mortgage provide you with superior knowledge and service.
Their ultimate goal? Getting the highest quality loan at low rates. Their second goal? To create a lasting relationship with every client and continue to provide excellent service for years to come. If you're looking to purchase or refinance, call the experts at 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335. Get additional details at www.chl.cc or call their office at 888-814-3335.
Alliance Portfolio is a licensed real estate broker. California DRE broker license 01868859 NMLS 324460.
Are you looking to diversify or add real estate secured investments to your portfolio? Did you know that investing in trust deeds can provide a better return with better security than many other alternate investments? For over 20 years, Alliance Portfolio has been providing the highest quality mortgage fund and trust deed investment opportunities with first-class service and communication. Alliance Portfolio offers well underwritten loans, low loan-to-value ratios, and all secured by prime Southern California coastal community real estate. At Alliance Portfolio, we don't just lend money, we lend our expertise. Call 949-349-1322 today to capitalize on a special opportunity. That's 949-349-1322. Investors, when our job is done, your job is easy. Sit back and capitalize. 949-349-1322.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions for me or my guest, or if you need help with your money matters, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This next segment has been brought to you by Alliance Portfolio, high-yield, low-risk investment funds utilizing coastal Southern California real estate. If you guys don't know what Alliance Portfolio is, we've had them on the show many times before. They're a trust deed investment company and private money lender. I'm a huge fan of trust deed investment. And if you don't know what it is, give me a call direct and I'll explain to you. It really is an incredible tool, or I guess, what do you call it, Phil? It's not a tool, but an avenue for success. Phil always comes up with the best things to say. So call us at 949-720-1616. Joining us today in our discussion panel with the experts is David Sidoni from Keller Williams Realty. From Open House Interiors is Hope Machado, and from Torelli Realty, Mr. Rand Penrod. So, guys, I'm glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. And we're going to be talking about the secrets of selling your home for top dollar. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Great to be here.
So, David, we'll start with you. When you were in the back room over there, we were talking about your childhood experiences. And I didn't remember the name of the show, but I remember you saying I started out doing flips.
Yeah, I was on the on-camera side of things. I did a feature film in 1992 called Newsies. It was the giant box office flop for the Disney studios that year. Jeffrey Katzenberg ran screaming and opened his own movie company right afterwards. And Christian Bale, to this day, still denies he was the star of the movie, but go get the DVD. That was him singing and dancing, and me right behind him doing
awesome.
flips.
And now you're selling real estate.
That's correct. I did about 10 years up there, then moved back down to Orange County where I was raised, and selling real estate and having a great time.
And you're down in the South County, right? Like Mission Viejo?
Correct. Our office is in Mission Viejo, and we serve most of Orange County because I still have some ties on the north side, but South Orange County is our big base.
Well, thank you for being here. I'm glad you're here. With as much volume as you do, I'm sure you're going to give our listeners quite an experience and hopefully some great advice. Hope Machado.
Hello.
How are you?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Good. So you're not interior design, home staging, right? There's a difference. What is the difference?
Well, home staging is basically a service we provide real estate agents and investors who flip homes. We basically stage the home and make it look like a model home with furniture, rugs, art, accessories all over the home, plants, sometimes live plants, basically just to make the connection for the buyer. So
you're trying to make the house look maybe up to date, because I know a lot of the houses that are sold after somebody has been living there for 15, 20 years,
right,
it's a little outdated, and you guys need to come in and basically clean it all up, bring it up to par, and hopefully, I mean, guys, real estate agents, I'm assuming that gets sellers a little bit more money.
Absolutely. Anything looking like a model home is sometimes you need to help the buyer's
vision.
Exactly.
Okay, good. And Rand Penrod.
Hey, Dino. Thanks for having me.
Mr. Lifeguard, I think, right?
Yeah, back in the day, Huntington City and Newport Beach, lifeguarding, and now real estate for about 11 years.
Awesome. Well, we were talking about you earlier, and Phil said, "Is everybody in Orange County just a laid back, surf guy that now sells real estate?" And it's funny. I want everybody to know, because I know it's radio and you can't see, but that's how I always envisioned Rand, just Mr. Laid Back. I thought he was going to show up in board shorts and flip flops. And out of everybody, he's wearing a suit with the tie today, with these killer shoes. So we're going to take pictures of these shoes, and we're going to put them up on the website and Facebook. So go to our Facebook page. It's Facebook.com/Money Matters with Dino, and you'll get some fashion tips from Rand Penrod.
All right, that sounds great.
All right, guys. So I got a bunch of questions for you guys. Let's just get right to it, and let's see what we can learn from you today. So my first question, of course, is it really a good time to sell a home? Why don't we start with you, Rand?
Sure. It's actually a great time to be a seller or a buyer. And I think in the current market right now, sellers now have an opportunity to, a year ago, they may have not been able to sell their home and not have the equity to make that move on to something else, move up into a higher, bigger home. And on the buyer side, interest rates are still very low. It's a low interest rate environment, and people can get into a home at a great price and do well for themselves that way too.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. A lot of people, because it's turned into a seller's market, they seem disappointed that they're buyers instead of sellers, but you just nailed it. Rates are still low. It's a great time to be a buyer.
Sure, that's true. There's leverage on both sides. If you're a buyer, you're getting in at, three historically low interest rates, 3% and change, and, the sellers can make some money and move on to something else.
Yeah. David, how about you? You feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. It's been incredible what we've been seeing, but getting the word out, the buyers seem to know that the interest rates are low. They've figured it out. It's the sellers who need to understand that we've had properties in Orange County since last summer that have been selling anywhere from 15 to 30% higher.
Wow.
Our most recent story that I'm preaching to anyone who will listen was we had a listing on Super Bowl Sunday that we had 10 offers on Super Bowl Sunday.
Really?
All over list price. Our last 4 listings in the last 4 weeks have all sold within the first weekend. Right now in Orange County, it's an inventory story, and it doesn't seem like the public understands that we usually have about 10,000 homes, and right now on the market, we've got 3,183.
Wow. I can picture it exactly the way you said it. Super Bowl Sunday. Guy's getting ready. He's got everything lined up. He's figured out exactly what he's going to do, where he's going to go, who he's going to talk to, and what boxes he's going to put his little name in so he can win some money that day, and how many beers he's going to be able to drink. And then all of a sudden, wife says, "No, you're not."
I'm not saying some of the faxes didn't look like they had bean dip on them, but we did get 10 offers over list price, and our seller got to relax because they were a football fan, so they enjoyed Sunday, but they enjoyed Monday even more.
Oh, that's great. All right, next question. What's the number one thing that a seller can do to get the highest price for their home?
Well, for me, I think that right now, the understanding that the internet is where your house gets sold. People need to understand, put themselves in the shoes of the buyers. All of our buyers are on automatic searches. So there's a lot of great things you can do to stage your home for an open house. There's a lot of great things you can do to increase curb appeal so that when people actually get to the property, it looks great. But right now, truly, not tens, not dozens of buyers, but thousands of buyers are waiting with an automatic search for your home. So the best thing you can do is get in the buyer's shoes and present your home online with beautiful pictures, professional photography, a virtual tour, the maximum amount of photos. Realtor.com has some ridiculous stats, like 600% more hits on their homes with a virtual tour.
Really?
And it's just...
And that's something the real estate agent sets up and does for them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would tell someone once they've come to me. If someone was just asking me on the street, the first thing I would say would be get to a realtor early and find out what you need to get your home sold.
All right, Hope, how about you? As far as home staging goes, what's like the number one thing that you guys always look for? Just like the easy thing that you can do to make the house more appealing?
Well, just to make it look like that model home, and just kind of going along with what David said, he's saying that the internet is the most useful tool. Well, that's where we come in with home staging, because before those pictures are done, we're going to get this house looking in top shape, and then these photos are taken and we make that connection for the buyer.
Okay, great. So let's see. Number 3, How do you decide what price to list a property at? Is it better to list low and hope for a bidding war? Or is it better to just simply put the price you want? Rand, what's your opinion?
You know, with how the market is right now, there's always probably a different strategy that you can approach a home with. But, you know, I see a lot of success with my clients right now where you want to obviously take the time to pull current comps and sales in your specific area, usually going about 90 days back. And if you set a strong but fair price without going too high, it's going to draw more people in the door. And typically it's going to bring in more offers. And then as the agent has the ability to filter through those, counter out to everybody, and still get the best terms for the seller and maybe get that higher price.
So, you know, somebody asked me that question the other day at work, and you know, he's like, do I price low? My agent's telling me if I price low, there'll be a bidding war, and sometimes we end up getting more money. He goes, but I'm scared if I price it too low that I may not get what I actually want. And my response was simply, it was actually very simple. It was just, you know what, the house will sell for what it's worth. Doesn't matter what you price it at. You're gonna get offers for basically what it's worth. You guys agree with that?
Market is truth.
Yeah,
and that's
so
really what it is.
The market is truth. I think that's the best way to say it right there. So let's see. What about if you got multiple offers? What's the best strategy to start a bidding war as an agent? Like, what do you guys recommend? What do you do?
Well, the first thing that we try to do is we make sure that we honor every offer. You want to work with a realtor who's going to, number one, expose your house and get as many offers as they can, and then to actually make sure that you respond to every single offer. And then we counsel all of our sellers to do counter offers to all of them. There's many different ways you can do it, but we've had success with offering a highest and best. If we've got 10 offers like we did on Super Bowl Sunday, we returned and we told everyone, thank you very much for your offer. We appreciate it. Please send in your highest and best, and then follow up on those counter offers. Make sure that your realtor and your realtor team are continuing to follow up and have constant communication with everyone that comes in. And next thing you know, you got a buyer frenzy.
Got it. Secrets to selling your home for top dollar. If you have any questions for my guests here today, you can give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. You're listening to Dino on Money Matters with Dino. So let's see. Next question, guys. I know a lot of buyers look for homes with sellers that will pay closing costs. Do you coach your clients to pay closing costs for sellers in this marketplace? Or does it matter?
Well, you know, at the current moment, I think there's so much strength for the sellers that, you know, as a buyer, you're really trying to come in and compete with such a larger number of other buyers that it's not as typical right now, I'd say, for, you know, the buyers to dictate that. They probably have to not push for that. But, you know.
Is it negative then if an offer comes in that's asked for closing costs?
It's going to probably considerably weaken yourself amongst the others.
So let me ask you this, though, because, I get this a lot with my clients, and sometimes they're just slightly shy of how much they need for that 10% down or whatever it is. And I coach them all the time. Just go ahead and put in, you know, closing for seller to pay for closing costs. And their agent always says, gosh, you know, that we'll never get the offer accepted. And I wonder, I mean, obviously I'm not in your shoes. I'm on the lending side, but if the seller nets out the same, what does it matter?
Well, at this point, I agree with Rand what he's saying. The net is what the seller looks at. What we're running into is appraisal issues. Sometimes what we're also running into is cash buyers. Traditionally in Orange County in Southern California, we're about 12%. They're at about 34% right now. So depending on the offer, each individual home is going to have a strategy that's going to work for it. If we find out there aren't a lot of offers, exactly, I'm going to push net. I'm going to talk to the other realtor about net, and we can probably get that done.
Okay, makes sense. So spring is here. Do you believe there's seasonal cycles in real estate?
There was.
Now it's just one big cycle,
right?
There
used to be a seasonal cycle till about 2006, and then everything's changed with the distressed inventory, which has declined dramatically. It's changed a lot because people are still scared, and other people are selling their houses that don't necessarily want to sell if it's a foreclosure or a short sale, and that changes all of our cycles.
You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions at all about your mortgage, current interest rates, or programs that are available out there, or just for our panel of experts here today, give us a call at 949-720-1616 and let us help you. This is a very difficult market with all kinds of pitfalls for buyers and sellers. Therefore, my recommendation is to put together a team that really knows the industry, knows the market, and understands your needs. If you'd like some help putting that team together, Call me up and I'll help you with that. Call us at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or you can check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. We'll be back after the break and continue the panel discussion with the experts. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Finally, a reputable legal firm. CDA Law Center, a nationally recognized nonprofit homeowner advocate, one of the most trusted firms in the country for helping consumers with their loan modification process. CDA's attorneys have decades of combined experience guiding their clients through the very complex and choppy waters of loan modification. Call 877-499-4435, 877-499-4435. Finally, honest and ethical advice to gain real results. Call CDA Law Center at 877-499-4435. That's 877-499-4435.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions for me or my guest, or if you need help with your money matters, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Or you can check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment is brought to you by Citywide Home Loans, bringing you low rates, specials on closing costs, and exceptional service. So we're in the middle of our panel discussion with the experts, and if you're just tuning in, we're having an incredible discussion about secrets to selling your home for top dollar. Of course, if you missed any part of the show, you can go to moneymatterswithdino.com and check it out in its entirety. We do our best to get it up online immediately after air. So with me today is from Keller Williams Realty is David Sidoni, from Open House Interiors, Hope Machado, and from Torelli Realty, Mr. Rand Penrod. So, guys, this is a great segment, but before I go into the next question, while we were on break, we had a little argument here. Hope had a disagreement with David. So, Hope, you didn't feel David, I should say, said that there is no seasonal right now. It's just busy straight through. You're disagreeing because you're saying your phone is ringing off the hook right now.
That's the case. Ever since the first week of March, we've definitely picked up on homes. So I just had to share my little feeling and my disagreement because although he's the real estate expert, our phones definitely have been more active. We've definitely been about as busy as we can handle. So.
And David, you think she should hang out with your wife, you said?
Yes, because she disagrees with me. I think we should hire their marketing team.
All right, Hope. So I got another question for you then. Clutter in the home, lighting, stuff like that. What do you guys do with that? How do you fix all that?
Well, before we come in for the job, actually, we usually ask the sellers to clear out anything that we think will not help their case. So we definitely have them declutter, take down images of, their family photos and frames and trophies, all that personal stuff usually has to go. And then we come in and we make sure that we put new window treatments to help the lighting in all the rooms to make sure we have natural lighting. And
what for somebody listening out there, what are window treatments?
Oh.
Because do you send a doctor over to fix the window or?
Kind of sounds like it. No, we just put up different curtain arrangements depending on what will work for the room and the style of the house.
Okay. And I'm curious now because I know when I was out looking at houses, I loved looking at everybody's pictures. I guess there's a point, like when you go to my mom's house, it's literally just like no picture ever comes down. It just keeps adding to the wall. And you got stuff that's 30, 40 plus years old. So I'm assuming, are you saying all personal stuff comes down or just stuff that's like over 5 years old?
No, generally all personal photos.
And realtors, you guys both agree with this?
Yeah, absolutely. The idea is to create a neutral, blank palette that they can see. You never know. Maybe someone doesn't want a family. Maybe someone doesn't want 9 dogs that like you've got on your wall. So you let them use their imagination.
Rand, are you going to agree with me or them?
You know what? I think David hit the nail on the head. Neutral is right. You want whoever walks in that door to kind of see themselves in that home and living there and making it their own.
I'll tell you what, I don't want somebody buying my home that I don't like. Now, the one thing you said, if somebody's got 9 dogs, I definitely wouldn't put that many pictures up because that means that house is trash. All right, so let's see. Is there a secret to putting up a great open house? Guys, what do you think? Rand?
A great open house, I think, it's the internet is another just giant tool, and that kind of bodes along with what David mentioned with great photography. So people are so mobile these days on a smartphone, on an iPad, and you want them to find your home easily. Facebook has become a giant marketing tool for everyone in the business, and you just want to get as much positive exposure for that home as you can. And
so are people even doing open houses as often as they used to now that all this is online? You can literally go to an open house online, basically.
Well, I think the online factor is not necessarily why open houses are slowing down currently right now in the market. Here we are going into second quarter 2013. It's because homes are selling in a weekend.
There's no need to do an open house.
And escrow's open. But what Rand was saying is exactly right. When you get a listing and when you get an open house, one of the things you can do today is you can put it on the MLS on Monday and tell folks that it's not going to be available to the public till the weekend. That gives you an entire week of internet shoppers chomping at the bit to come to that house. And what we like to do is a Friday night twilight neighbors only open house, and we pass the postcards around. The neighbors come by Friday night. Something maybe their aunt or their brother or sister want to move in, and then by Saturday you've got internet people going crazy.
That is an awesome idea. I really like that. I mean, it keeps everybody within because a lot of times you do develop a family within your street.
Yeah, it's something that's been very successful for us, and the neighbors feel very special and intrigued that they're getting their own private showing and the first chance to come look. And, it's a great selling point, but let's be honest, half of them are just coming to snoop.
Sure.
So, but you get people to come by, and it gets a lot of traffic and excitement for the home, and the sellers really enjoy that.
I just had a flash. I remembered, it's been probably 8 years ago or something. I just did an extensive remodel on my home and just poured a bunch of money into it, really did all this great stuff. And then on April 1st, right, it was April Fool's, I went to Home Depot and I bought a for sale by owner sign and stuck it out front.
Oh, man.
And all my neighbors were freaking out. They were all coming over. And then my wife says, somebody came and knocked on the door. It was during the frenzy, and she was getting she was getting door knocks from people. She's like, you better go take that thing down right now. All right, Hope, I got a question for you. What are the best colors to have in a home in order to sell? Something that's going to be eye-catching for people.
Definitely neutral is the best way to go. Usually the tans, we always recommend a color called Sandy Beach, actually. And it just is amazing what a difference the color of the walls can make. I have a good story for that one. Last week, we went to a beautiful home in Irvine, priced around $2 million. It's been on the market for a couple of weeks, but they called us in because they're not getting offers. So first thing we noticed is that every single room is a different color. We have green, we have yellow, we have purple, we have blue. And so obviously the first thing we recommended was making the paint a neutral color, and tan is usually the way to go. And then, we know that will help them sell the house. So
what about, we got neutral walls. I've been told that splashing, I should say, I think is a terminology you guys use, splashing some color is good, like with throw pillows or blankets, stuff like that. Yep,
absolutely. The splash of color is usually done through accessories and art and whatnot.
All right. If you just jumped into your car, you're listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions for me or my guests, or if you need any help with your money matters, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. This segment has been brought to you by Citywide Home Loans. All right, guys. David, let's go with you. Let's talk about renovations. What are some of the inexpensive fixes people can make to make a big difference?
I think the inexpensive, you're talking real inexpensive, there are some of the older homes in Orange County where you can make sure that you just scrape the ceilings and put up some simple crown molding. Little things like that will really take a home from a 1960s feel, 1970s feel into a more modern home. The other probably big thing is if you're going to start thinking about doing major renovations, the only places you want to start are in master bath and in the kitchen. Anything beyond that, you're not going to get as much bang for your buck.
Do you see a pattern with those two? Like, why are those two so important? Because I know why. I think I know why.
I do too, but I'm afraid if I say it, I'm going to break some ethical issues with the National Association of Realtors.
Oh, okay, so I'll say it then. So, master bathroom and kitchen, right?
Yes.
Maybe even master closet. Does that kind of ring a bell to anybody as to who is calling the shots in the household? So that's because that's where the wife hangs out. The master bathroom is so important to them, and obviously the kitchen, because that's where they're at. And they, I think at the end of the day, call the shots when it comes to home. I tell my wife, I go, just make me look like a boss when we're out, but at home you're the boss, babe. I gotcha. Don't you worry. You're the boss. Make me look like the boss when we're out. All right. Who should sellers choose as an appraiser? How about inspections? Who should sellers use for inspections? Well, I'm going to actually rephrase that question, because with all the new laws that are out right now, sellers or buyers, I should say, can't choose who their appraiser is going to be. In fact, they have no right to do that. And even I, as the loan officer on the deal, don't have the right to choose. It's one of the new laws that came out a few years back, and basically it has to be a total random round robin type thing. You use a company and they can't even necessarily choose. It's just like a round robin. The next guy up gets it. As a loan officer, as a real estate agent, as a buyer, you're not allowed to talk to them or influence them in any way whatsoever. So, but home inspectors, right? When you purchase a home, there is a home inspection that's done. Who chooses that?
With my buyers, I like to leave the option, if they have somebody, I'm in full support of that. And then I also typically have a few that, each home in a different area, an investment home versus just somebody's typical single family primary residence. There's different, fits for all of that. So I first try to offer them the choice and then, fill in with a recommendation of my own if need be.
It's good advice. All right, so I want to throw out some common mistakes I hear, over and over again, really, that a lot of people make. So over improving the house for the neighborhood, good, bad, indifferent. What's your opinion on that?
You want to be you don't never want to be the biggest home on the block, because you figure your home's going to sell for an average.
All right. What about pricing the home based on what the seller wants to net? Is that how you do it? Because I would imagine a lot of real estate agents, just to get the listing, they kind of do whatever, even though they know there's no damn way that house is worth that money.
Do you want me to sugarcoat it?
Sugarcoat it.
If I sugarcoat it, I would make sure that my sellers understand that, unfortunately, no matter how much money that you need, the home is going to sell for whatever the market is dictating. And then we'll look at the comps and see what the house is selling for. Not sugarcoated. I tell them it's going to sell for what it's worth, period.
So I just had a situation recently where an acquaintance of mine is selling a home, and he doesn't get all that. He has in his head what he wants, and he keeps saying, I want to get more and more. But and this house is way up in the high desert, and it's just like, it's not worth $40,000 more. If somebody was stupid enough to pay that much more money for it, it would not appraise, and the bank wouldn't give them a loan for it. So it really doesn't matter what you want. The market's going to always dictate what the house is worth. And there's so many, little factors involved in buying a home that are going to prevent this from happening. So, all right, let's see. Hiring an agent based on non-business factors. I'm assuming that means family and stuff like that. What do you guys, Rand, what do you think about that?
I think that happens. I'm in the Costa Mesa market in Orange County, and you do actually see a lot of out-of-town agents that are picking up listings at the moment, even though there's, a fair amount of local agents and brokers. That still happens, and I think people are going to always seek out the best value or situation for themselves. So I do think that does happen.
You're listening to Money Matters with Dino. This segment is brought to you by Citywide Home Loans. If you have any questions about your mortgage, current rates, or programs, or you're looking to buy a new home or investment property, give us a call at 949-720-1616 and let me help. That's why we're here. We're here to make sure you're getting the most out of your assets, managing your finances, protecting your family, and becoming wealthy. Call us at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. Stick around after the break. Phil gets to test my knowledge a little more in the Ask Dino segment, where you, the listener, has asked us questions either through Facebook, Twitter, or email. And I'm going to be here to answer all those for you. In the meantime, thank you for spending time with me. And remember, don't just get real estate rich, get rich. Your financial future is in your hands. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to diversify or add real estate secured investments to your portfolio? Did you know that investing in trust deeds can provide a better return with better security than many other alternate investments? For over 20 years, Alliance Portfolio has been providing the highest quality mortgage fund and trust deed investment opportunities with first-class service and communication. Alliance Portfolio offers well underwritten loans, low loan-to-value ratios, and all secured by prime Southern California coastal community real estate. At Alliance Portfolio, we don't just lend money, we lend our expertise. Call 949-349-1322 today to capitalize on a special opportunity. That's 949-349-1322. Investors, when our job is done, your job is easy. Sit back and capitalize. 949-349-1322.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. At Citywide Home Loans and CHL Mortgage, you will experience as much success as you want. Whether you close a small volume or are a big producer, you matter to us. We provide you the tools and resources you need, when you need them, to build your business the way you want. We offer training and marketing assistance by professionals to help you meet and exceed your financial goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Thank you for hanging with us. This is Money Matters with Dino. I'm your host, Dino Katsiametis, and I'm here to give you the tools and information to build a secure and strong portfolio using real estate and other investment tools. If you have any questions and want to get a hold of me or any of my guests here that you've heard here today, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment is brought to you by CDA Law Center, expert loan modifications with decades of legal experience in real estate. All right, Phil. So this is your favorite part, I know, because you like to.
Yeah, I'm going to get you. You
always try. You always try. It doesn't happen.
No. But today, watch out. All right, you ready?
I peeked at the questions, and there's one question I don't really know.
You're not supposed to do that. Oh, well, already. Now
so
I know. Right.
Well, no, just because I don't want our guests to leave. You guys just hang out because there's one question I don't know the answer to, and I'm going to ask one of you very knowledgeable people for some good advice.
Okay.
All right, Phil, tell me.
Here we go.
What do we got?
I'm thinking about selling my house to buy in a different area, and I need to use the equity in the sale for the down payment. Will I have to rent in the meantime?
No, not necessarily. I mean, ideally, you want to do them both at the same time. So it's kind of a catch-22 right now because you know your house will sell immediately just because of the way the market is, and finding a house is the tough part. So you don't necessarily want to sell your house because then you may not have a place to go. Unfortunately, because the market's so hot, as a buyer, nobody's going to accept an offer with a contingency that you're going to have to sell your house first. So it's really a catch-22. I mean, basically, you better go out, start looking, is my opinion, is start looking and at least narrow down exactly what you want so you can be ready to pull the trigger and you're not window shopping anymore. You're ready to go. And get your house listed on the market, get it sold, and then get really aggressive about trying to find something. If you get lucky, you time it. If not, you might have to go find a place for a little bit, or you can even do a rent back, as they call it. and ask the buyer of your new home
rent it back
rent it back for 2 or 3 months.
Okay. And will they do that a lot of the times?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm getting multiple offers on my home, including a cash buyer. The cash buyer is not as high an offer, but I'm tempted to take it anyway because it's cash. Is that the right thing to do?
I'm a lender, so I don't necessarily like cash buyers because I'm put out of business that way.
You're selfish.
Right?
Yes, I know. Yes.
Yeah. So, but no, I don't think there is. I mean, if you have, let's just say 3 offers, one's a cash buyer and the other 2 are more money, at the end of the day, you're going to net more money if the guys that have a loan have a better offer.
Because you're still getting paid.
You're still getting paid. Whether whoever's paying, whether it's the guy in cash or the bank, you're getting the money. So what you got to look for when you're accepting offers is who's obviously what's your price. And then you need to depend on your real estate agent to let you know that just because it's the highest price, it's not necessarily the best offer. Because if a guy is not qualified and, if you can't qualify for the loan, you think you can, but you probably, you may not, or you have some credit issues, that might cause a problem down the road. Mm-hmm. So your real estate agent has to do a good job vetting out the offers and, really deciding who's really got the best offer. And that's not price. All sellers think about is always price, but it's not. There's so much more to it than that.
Okay. My home has been on the market for several months, which this must be an old question. What can I do to keep it from looking like a stale listing and get it sold?
So that's the, I have some thoughts, but I figure we got the experts here today. So David, why don't you tell me what do you do in a situation like that?
Well, you're right. In this market, any home is going to be selling quickly. So if your home hasn't sold in a couple months, probably the first thing I would do, put yourself in the mindset of a buyer. Go online, look at all the homes in the area, see what's different. What do buyers see online? And if you see that your home is not marketed well, if you don't have the maximum amount of photos, if you don't have the virtual tour, then talk to your realtor and say, hey, I think that we need to look like this because this is what buyers are seeing. And the other little trick, now that everyone's using the internet, if your home is worth $815,000 and you and your realtor listed it at $814,999, there are a lot of sellers that have a max on their search that goes to $799 or to $800. So I would highly recommend taking a good look at what's going on and maybe look at maximizing the amount of eyeballs you get on your home by going to a $799 price point for people who are only looking up to $800 and then trying to get one of those bidding wars that we've been talking about all day.
Oh, that's smart.
Ultimately, right, your house is going to sell for what it's worth, just like we talked about earlier. And as a seller, if you list it at that lower price and you're afraid that, because you listed it there, you may not get, the higher price, well, you don't have to sell it. You don't have to accept it. If you just jumped into your car, you're listening to Money Matters with Dino, and you can reach us at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Phil, what's the next question?
Can I refinance my second mortgage without doing the first? Should I try and combine them even if I have a good rate on the first? That's a good question.
It's a good question. So, obviously it depends on a lot of different things. I would have to say I need a lot more to find out before I can answer that question intelligently. But what rate do you have on the first? What rate can I now get you if I were to refinance both of them into one? And but the answer to that question is yes, you can refinance just the second. You don't have to combine them. But with rates being as low as they are, maybe it's best to combine them, get into one payment, and not have to worry about it.
Okay. I just started a new job after being self-employed for years. I have some money for a deposit, but could not qualify for a loan before. Can I qualify for a loan now, or do I have to be at the job for a while?
So that's a good question, and there's a lot of factors that are involved there. So typically, if you're self-employed going to a job and you're a salaried employee, I did this just recently where all I had to get, the underwriter was asking for a copy of their employment contract to show that this is what their salary is going to be, and then one check. So they had been there for literally a week, but they didn't get their check until, after 2 weeks. So we had to wait until after they got their first check, and I combined that with the employment contract, and that was good enough.
You're kidding me.
No, that was good enough.
And that was after this person was out of work for a while? Or
yep,
was it?
Absolutely. Wow. Now, if you're an hourly employee, that changes things because then there's no set amount that you're guaranteed, right? versus salaried employee. Now you're guaranteed you're going to make whatever, $80,000 a year. So we have a figure that we can work off of. But if you're hourly, we have to take an average, and you don't really have an average. So that makes it a little more difficult.
Okay.
Well, that's the end of our show here today. You've been listening to Money Matters with Dino. If you have any questions about anything you heard on the show today, don't wait. Pick up the phone and get the answers you need. We're here to help. Dial 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. Or you can find us online at moneymatterswithdino.com. Thanks to my expert panelists this week from Keller Williams Realty, David Sidoni from Open House Interiors, Hope Machado, and from Torelli Realty, Mr. Rand Penrod. I don't know why I always call you Mr., but it's probably because of the tie.
That's okay, Dino. Thanks.
Thanks for being here, guys. And a big thanks to my producer, Phil, for all the work you do on the show. A very special thank you goes out to you, the listener, and for sending all these questions in. You're the reason why I do this show week in and week out. I love doing the show, and I truly hope you get as much out of it as I do. If you missed any part of the show and you want to hear it, just you can catch it online at moneymatterswithdino.com or even at YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Power Players Radio. Thank you all so much for listening. Remember, don't just get real estate rich, get rich. Bye for now.